man? How are you?
Good morning. How are you, man?
Doing great. Checking that GJ right now. How was your day yesterday?
It was good, man. I did make a trade last night and did not. It was well managed. Didn't. Sorry, I got the little fellow again.
Oh,
Yeah, yesterday was good, man. After the New York session, basically, I took three trades in the day and they all lost, but it was well managed. I
okay.
kept my risk percentage under 2%, so
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah,
What's up, little man?
yeah, he's hanging out, letting mama sleep in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, it's her birthday today, so we might have to take off earlier and get some breakfast going for her.
No, of course, man. Yeah. Gotta keep the wife happy, right?
That's right, man. I had a play a trade earlier in the London session as well this morning.
Okay. Awesome. How'd that go?
It
Oh,
was good, man.
actually,
It was good.
I
Yeah,
think I
I
saw
got
the London session. What's up, Kat? Yeah, this is
Hey, good
beautiful.
morning, everyone.
yeah, that's it.
Mhm. Yeah, so what you did was I see you waited for this candle to close. Yeah, what was your entry right up here? Were you waiting for it to clear this area?
Sorry, what was that, man?
Let me get my arrow out for you. So were you waiting for it to clear this area right here? Is that why the entry was up there?
Yeah, not exactly. If you go to the 15-minute price on that 30-minute candle with the long wick. Um,
Ah, right here, huh?
15-minute candle closed bullish with the wick on top. Yeah, that one right there. And I entered after that close.
Okay.
And I it kind of ran pretty quick, so I didn't get the entry right on the open. It was kind of more up that wick, but
Mhm.
it busted right through.
Now, is that like specifically in your rules that you wait for the 15 to retest, or was it you just weren't comfortable taking it after this candle closed with the wick to fill?
Yeah, no, it was just timing. I wasn't right on the chart for that close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just saying like this right over here as we're holding this higher low, we're pushing up. You see the bullish pressure with this candle right here. You see
Yeah.
the bearish close right here, but then this close, strong close above this body, right, with a nice wick to fill. You get the clean move and to the left over here on the 1 hour, right? We're heading right back up. You could have entered right after that 30-minute close right here. Stop loss
Yeah.
over here, get that wick fill, and continue right back up. If you get that volume right here at 4 o'clock, you normally get volume at 4 a.m.
Yeah, yeah, we usually do, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And you know what? I was looking at that 1 hour too. It's kind of a bit of a whipsaw there on one of the almost like a doji, but a bit of a body in it. Um,
Right here.
yeah, that one there. I was looking at that too. I wasn't sure, like it kind of was. I don't know. I was a little hesitant because I wasn't sure if it was going to try and retest the bottom wick on that.
I listen. I would be thinking the same thing because we are in a major downtrend, and the pound is very weak. We don't know what's going to happen with Boris Johnson right now. He may fall out under, and basically quit right now with what's going on. I have no idea why he's under this pressure, but that could happen. You got inflation. They are talking about maybe increasing rates again, but everyone's pulling their money into the Japanese yen with how much fear we have in the market right now. So GJ is very bearish. So you were basically taking this counter trend trade, and I see what you were doing. Like that setup made sense. That's why I liked it. But again, I would be worried about these wicks right here. Remember we talk about these?
Yeah,
Like we
yeah,
do get the bullish close, but we got those long bottom wicks. All of a sudden, the bottom could fall out from under, and we just drop, which could be happening right now because you see we're respecting the high up there, but at the same time, we are making these higher lows over here. So could we be coming right down into this area over here and then continuing right back up? Right?
Yeah, and also like on the daily, we got pretty strong support there at the bottom, right where the that low is.
Uh, right over here or right here?
Yeah, no, the bottom, the very bottom.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's a strong support. So we'll break it down from the higher time frames and get into the economic calendar over here. Take a look at what we got. What's up, Giovanni?
Good morning, man.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, and you? How you guys doing?
Good. You have a good week so far?
Yeah, started trading today.
There you go. Take the Monday off, huh?
Yeah, I had to do something for the residency program yesterday.
Oh, are you in? Did you find something?
No, not yet. I had to email a whole bunch of schools. The post match opened yesterday.
Okay. Okay. Good shit, man.
Yeah.
Just want to see the strength of these currencies. Yep. As expected over here. Japanese yen, Swiss franc, Canadian dollar, US dollar is all strong over here. Go into the economic calendar. Did we have a good weekend, Giovanni?
Yeah, I stayed in this whole weekend.
Oh,
I
nice.
watched the UFC fight.
Did you? Yeah, you got
Yeah.
Ngannou.
Mm-hmm.
Beast. Beast. All right. So we got the German IFO business climate obviously came out good. We also had good numbers coming out of Germany when it comes to the PMI yesterday as well. So we also have bank holiday for Australian dollars. So we'll see. Maybe we may have some ranging a little bit on gold. We'll check that out. But on what's it called? For the US dollar, we have at 10 o'clock coming out consumer confidence, very important. That seems to be down over here. We'll take a look at the past consumer confidence. They don't have a chart for this? Guess not. But that's basically all we're really looking at for today. You got HPI over here, month over month, Belgium, business climate, a couple things coming out, all yellow folders. So we'll see if we get any movement when it comes to our currencies over here. But I wanted to get back into the charts over here because GJ is moving. I do like this setup over here, right? But like I said, we could be coming down to retest this area over here, respect kind of like a higher trend and continue up. Like it looks like maybe we're trying to correct itself a little bit and continue back up for a little bit and then continue back down. But we'll see because we are very bearish. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just drop from here. So let's see what we end up getting. But we'll go to the higher time frames and break this down. I'll also break down the trade that I took last night. So right now on the daily, you guys know what's been happening up here, but we're in this bearish trend over here. And right now on the daily, we have a wick to fill, right? We tapped into this area, 153 flat seems to be a strong demand zone, right? So we tapped into the area. We already formed a top wick on the daily and flipped bearish, continuing right back down. But it looks like we reacted to this area over here by creating this bottom wick. So we'll see in the 4 hour. So the 4 hour already formed a higher low right over here, right? So you have like this low that was formed right here, right? Price reacted up here, came right back down, but we held support right here and printed a strong bullish candle. This candle came up, created a top wick, never passed the high of that candle, and now it's below this area. So now it's below the previous resistance over here. So could this be a fake out to continue down? As we know, we've been in this downtrend over here, right? Printing lower lows, lower highs, bearish trend, respecting. Could we be bouncing off of 152, 300 over here, right? Holding support and maybe continuing up to create, another higher low or lower high over here to then continue right back down, right? Could we consolidate in here or bounce off this area, come up here a little bit, and then we continue down? Or are we just going to continue down from here? I could very well see that as well. So we just got to be ready for everything. Right now, we're kind of respecting this downtrend over here. So we'll see what we end up getting.
I have that same counter trend line.
Right here?
Yeah, I have that same one.
Yeah, so are you looking at this too?
Yeah.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, this could have been a nice move to come down into this area, anticipating the reaction to this resistance. And you have this wick, which is interesting on the 1 hour. This wick, which passed the high. How many times have we seen this where we pass the high over there and then we flip bearish right at this area right here, and then we just tank based on these wicks that Donnie and I just pointed out, right? These candles are bullish, but we have those long bottom wicks. A lot of times those get filled. Normally, right after with either this candle or this candle. But right now it looks like it wanted to come up to this area, right? React to that area. We held resistance, and now we're pushing down. So now we'll see what we end up getting in here. I just didn't want you guys to get trapped. I was actually looking at this, but we started the stream as soon as this was happening. I love when you get this fake out right up here, price comes back into the area, get that bullish close. This doji candle close, very weak bullish candle. Normally, I like that top wick formed on this candle before we drop. All right, but we just ended up dropping over here. So let's see what we do in this area. This could be a very key area right over here on the 30-minute. Anybody looking at anything else? So right now we're kind of like in this range over here based on the 4 hour, which we had that previous resistance over there, and now this is that higher low, right? So let's see if we break this area. If we break this wick right here on the 4 hour, I could see it's continuing down. Maybe not with this candle, but the next. But like I said, we got to see what happens in this area. And if we hold support here. All right, cool. So let's go into gold over here. Yeah, we got some consolidation. Bank of Australia has their bank holiday. So right now, we've been in this bullish trend over here. Price has been pushing up. We've been kind of consolidating, especially below 1830, but we're making higher highs and higher lows. Right now, we're just in this consolidation phase. We're not in a bullish phase. We're not in a bearish phase or anything like that on the lower time frames, at least. Higher time frames we are. But on the lower time frames, we're just kind of consolidating in this area. And what is this? This is a key area, right? Right now, we're at that previous resistance. Holy shit. How slow can this thing be? So now we're in that key area over here, the previous support. Now we're at that resistance and the trend line over here. So now we're trying to grab orders, right? I could very well see us holding this support of 1830 and continuing right back up. Is this current daily candle creating a bottom wick and going to flip bullish to continue back up? We got to see. Right now, what we're consolidating for and what we're grabbing orders for is tomorrow, which is FOMC, right? Which luckily we'll be, we'll be trading with the Sharma's group tomorrow. So that'll be nice. So we got FOMC tomorrow. It looks like what I'm looking at are these wicks. You got this candle close at this area. You got a bullish close right there. Got price wicked into that area. Bullish close right there. Are we getting a higher low right over here and a bullish close to then start driving back up? I really wouldn't touch gold at all in this, and I would really wait for FOMC tomorrow and just kind of sit still with gold in here. There were a couple moves in there, but I think those moves are done for now. Right, you had this move right over here. Price is continuing right back up yesterday. We respected this resistance over here and shot down. You had this tap of 1830 over here yesterday with a bullish close. This candle closed bullish as well. As soon as this candle flipped bullish past the high of that candle, you could have entered this potentially, but you would have been trading in a range. So that's got to be part of your plan. It's got to be something you've seen before for you to take. I could very well see us bouncing off this area over here and continuing up here. But you guys have 1 to 2 opportunities to take a trade. So are you going to use it on this? That's the question. This is a nice 1 hour candle though. Yeah, like I said, I would stay out of gold over here and I would just stick with GJ and we'll see what GJ ends up doing. I got to figure out why my computer is so slow. Yeah, Zoom slows it down quite a bit. But let's take a look at the trade I took yesterday on DJ. Right over here. So what we ended up getting yesterday was a reaction to this resistance up here, right? We hold resistance with this price action. We're kind of consolidating in here. Then we get this candle closed bullish, and then we get that bearish candle kind of closing below that area. Once this candle passed below that candle, I entered an impulse entry. I secured the full thing right over here. Right when we filled this wick over here, around 10 pips, or right when we tapped this candle. So I closed most of the position right over here, about 80%. Stop loss at break even. And then I entered another one with this beautiful setup right here. Taking this right down, I believe I secured somewhere around like 830. Secured around here. Once we got this bullish close over here. So I wanted to let this thing run overnight. I went break even. And I secured, as always, right here around 10 and a half, 12 pips, somewhere around like the close of this candle over here. And then I let the rest run, and then I secured another one once we got this bullish close after it looked like we were holding support on the 15-minute to continue back up, right? So I secured another percentage there, and then I ended up getting stopped at break even. Here, Carlos coming in. Does that make sense? These two setups over here, got this bullish close or bearish close. This candle passed the low of that candle, right? Only thing was this didn't have the bottom wick or the top wick, so I lowered my risk just a little bit on that. But I knew we had a clean move to the left, and we just had that bearish close with the wick to fill. So I knew if we passed the low, we got 8 o'clock volume, we should be breaking through and mirroring this candle, mirroring this whole area. Kat, did you want to say something? So you got this whole area right here.
I was just going to ask you about that top wick, but you answered it.
Hey, yep. So again, that's where intuition comes in, Kat. Like when it comes to your pair, and that's why it's so important to know your pair and not be all over the place with multiple pairs. You want to be able to have that intuition and have that experience. Because when you have that, a lot of people want to go to you. A lot of people want to ask you your opinion on certain setups, stuff like that. Not that that's super important, but you know, that'll feel good for you and also build confidence for you. And also know that, like, you know your shit, right? So having that intuition when this plays out when you have high volume. This doesn't play out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right? Or 12 o'clock in the afternoon on Eastern Standard Time.
What time was that?
This was 8 o'clock p.m.
Can we consider that a high volume time? Like, I get a little confused as
For
far
Asian.
as Asian goes.
Yeah. So as you know, London and New York are the Holy Grail. Those are the high volume sessions, right? Asian session, first session of the day, very slow, but there are high volume pushes at times in that session, right? That's when you know you can get those impulse entries during Asian. As you can see, we're reacting to this area so far right now. So we'll see what kind of setup we get and possibly if we close below this area, sorry, I'm tired. If we close below this area over here, I would definitely see us continuing right back down to this next level with a cleaner move to the left and continuing down. But we'll see what kind of setup we get over here. You got to ask yourself, are these the setups that you look for? All right, this candle closed very overextended, it looks like. Now we're kind of getting that reaction, but we need some bearish candles closing for us to take this thing down if we think we're going to break through this price action over here.
In my chart, I have the 153.5 level marked off.
Okay.
But like looking at it like this, just like having it on the chart, it does look kind of messy. Do you feel like that level will even make sense to
send the chart over?
Okay.
Take a look. Also, you want to see how this hourly candle closes. We got 7 o'clock around the corner. Again, a lot of that stuff should be in your trading checklist, trading plan. Have that little checklist of different things that you check. Check the time, check the price, right? Are we at a psychological level? We're breaking through 400 right now, coming right back down from 700. Right? It's a nice 40 pip move almost. How is this hourly going to close? If it closes here, that'll be interesting because then, you know, we could potentially hold support and again continue up. But we're holding resistance right up here, and we're bearish, telling me that we probably are going to continue right back down. That push. Got about 5 minutes left for the hour to close. This is good if it does this, because then we get that close below this area. We get a retest, and we can take this right back down to 153 flat. All right, so the farther it goes, without, you know, obviously tapping 153, the farther it goes, the better, because we have a more of a range in this range over here because we have that low created. Then we get that retest, and then we take this down. Carlos.
Yo, what's up? Good morning, everyone.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling good. I can't complain. How are you?
Good, man. Doing great. Could we be mirroring this? Yeah. So this is a nice little area over here that you have to be trading in, right? The only thing is, right now we're in this consolidation, and we're coming right back into it, right? You had this easy move to the left, but over there, price failed to break the highs up here, right? And now we're breaking below. We have a little bit of a fake out right here, right? Price coming back into this whole range right here. So now I could very well see us continuing right back down. Like, there's nothing telling me that we're reversing anything like that. We'll actually check into let's check UK equities right now. Yep, UK equities right now are down for the day, down for the week as well. We're over here. So that's a good guide for you guys for your currencies as well. A lot of times it's a direct reflection. So we could be continuing bearish. So you got this resistance, confused to have this on the chart. Yeah, so if 153,500, if that confuses you, just get rid of it, right? Because price keeps breaking through it. Broke through it once, twice, 3 times. Is that an area that you're interested in on a 30-minute?
More in the higher time frames, like the 4 hour.
The 4 hours. So 153,500, obviously a psychological level.
Yeah. especially like in the peak before.
You're saying right over here?
Yeah, but like if you zoom out just a bit more
Oh, right here.
there, yeah, it's like a lot of steps.
Yeah, so what
happening.
you can do with that line, if that's like throwing you off a little bit, lower the opacity. So just double click on the line, go to style, line, opacity down here, and just lower that. And you can make it like real light, knowing that it's there. You can do that with a lot of like key levels if you want.
I guess the confusing part is more so to know like I almost wanted to get in on that sell because it looked really nice
Yeah.
from the 30-minute, right?
Mhm.
But then because I saw that there, I was like, what if it holds support, despite the fact that it is kind of high volume time and everything, but like it was kind of forming a double top in a way too. So it just kind of threw me off in that sense of like, well, what if it respects?
Yeah. Yeah, this is just one setup that you want to keep in mind. There's multiple things that you can look at here. And this is how you get better is just, doing this is and studying the candle. So you get that resistance up here. Now you get the fake out, right? So now we're holding resistance. I want you to be able to journal. I want you to journal this whole setup right here, right? You get this candle, these bearish candles closing, right? Back into the range. You get the retest of the previous resistance. Very weak bullish candle. This candle normally has a top wick, right? But we passed the low over here, and we had that bearish pressure continuing right back down. So if you want, you can wait for us to break that wick right there, or you can, you anticipate price breaking these candle bodies over here, and you enter right there. Based on these candles, that'll give you the confirmation. 1 hour candle just closed. Let me go back into our chart over here. 15-minute close below that area over there. So that's nice. We'll see if we get a top wick on this candle. I don't want to take this as soon as it breaks the low. Unless you guys only have 10 pips in this area right over here, if that was the case. So I would wait for a little retest over here, especially in this key area. You want to wait for, setups that you like, because where's your stop loss going to be? Up here, right on the 15-minute.
For that last move, where would have been a valid stop loss? Because I feel like I would have wanted to put it just a little bit below the wick.
With the setup I was telling you about right over here. Yeah, so if we pass the low of these bodies over here, you could place it like somewhere around here.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
All right. So we're breaking the low right away over here. The first minute of the candle. Now this could very well drop. Sometimes that happens, but that's okay. I'd rather wait for like a nice range to be formed. We come up, retest. Is anybody in GJ right now?
I'm waiting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting too. I just, since I've had that trade earlier, I don't want to put any unnecessary risk on yet.
Like when you miss this move right here, it's best to just wait for the retest and wait for like the later volume times, because this was the move of pre-New York. That was a nice volume push, and it could very well be continuing, right? But you typically want to wait for that volume around like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And that'll be a nice move for New York to open and you get that volume. Got a feeling that Chris won't be trading too much today. What's up, brother?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Good, you?
Good.
You looking at gold over here?
I haven't looked at it yet this morning, to be honest. Ooh. I mean, gold just looks disgusting.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to touch that.
That's disappointing.
What's up?
That's kind of disappointing. It looks like I won't trade today.
I know you just gotta wait for our FOMC tomorrow.
Yeah,
That'll be big. Depending on what they say. Yeah.
I took like a 10 pip loss yesterday.
You did?
Yeah, it was silly.
All right, what was it?
I basically did what I said I wasn't going to do.
Huh?
Because I know, you remember yesterday I said I was going to wait until it broke 35.
Yep.
I just basically was on the 5 minute and I seen it approaching and I took it real dumb and it, reversed back.
No
I should have
patience?
waited because no patience. When it did break 35, like I drew it up, I would have got my 15, 20 pips.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got it on my second trade. So
okay.
I end up, only losing about 5 pips because I made a little bet, but it was done.
You
I was
learn
kind of
from
mad at myself.
You journal it?
I didn't. And I took it in class. That's that's another rule. I don't take trades in school. Yeah. So I just, it was just a gamble. I just gambled.
Gotta stay away from that, right? Yeah, why if this set up like let's say right now, instead of like right when we started the stream, like I was getting everything ready, we would have been in this right now, I would say. We would have taken this as we were breaking the candle bodies over here with that 630 volume. I think we got a similar push yesterday. Actually, we were kind of consolidating around 630, but there's a lot of times on DJ you get these pushes, especially, from Tuesday to Thursday. So let's see. We broke through that counter trend line, so I don't think that's going to be too valid. Again, we're very bearish over here. Let's see if we respect this area. I don't know. Now, once we break 153, where are we heading? You can see it's coming right into this area right here. In the 30-minute, you get a nice clean move over here to bring us right back down to 152,500. I could see it happening. So now we're at this previous support over here. You don't have many, you don't have much range in here. What I would like to see is this low be created. We get a retest up here. You get a nice formation, like candles closing in our direction after a bullish candle or two. And we take this thing right back down through this area, obviously secure a little bit over here. And then we continue right back down to 153 with New York following.
Had a late start this morning.
What was that?
I said I had a late start this morning.
Yeah. Me too, a little bit. Still got the work at him, but I don't know why. I went to bed pretty late last night.
I went to bed early, but I woke up at 2 and I couldn't go back to sleep.
Oof.
And then I fell asleep around 4 and woke up at 5:35, 5:40.
So worse. What woke you up?
Myself, just I guess my body just realizing what's going on.
So is anybody following what's going on in Ukraine right now? I'm sure Donnie is.
I've been keeping tabs, and not too intensively though. I'm kind of disconnected right now, man. I'm still on vacation.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, we just sent the ship over to the Black Sea though.
Did you? Wow. Yeah, this is heating up. So right over here, let me see if I can take this out. I was just reading this over here. Bloomberg, 5 things to start your day. Highly recommend subscribing to this. But Western allies are pushing ahead with diplomatic efforts to diffuse tensions around Ukraine. Despite the ongoing talks, the U.S. seems ready to for negotiations to fail as it puts 8,500 troops on alert for rapid deployment in case of an escalation by Russia. So, like I said the other day, what's going on right now is China is threatening Taiwan at the same time that Russia is threatening Ukraine. Doing this simultaneously is almost like a concerted effort to distract us in a way where we're going to be, pulled in 2 different directions, because we already made threats that we're going to be supporting these 2 countries. And if we fall back on that, kind of like what we did in Afghanistan, that's not going to be too good. And they know that. They're playing that hand. It's all a chess move. So if they do that at the same exact time, and you see them ramping up efforts, but they're not doing it right away just to see what our reaction is going to be, right? It's all slow moving effort. And that's how a lot of these countries run. A lot of these Eastern countries, they're all very patient, extremely patient. It's almost like scary patient, because they can wait years to do something and they can plan it for years. Right? They don't need that instant gratification where like it has to happen now. Like they can plant things for 20, 30 years for things to happen. China is very notorious for doing that. Iran is like that. The Middle East is very, very patient with that. Very patient when it comes to attacking or doing anything. And it seems like the way China's doing it right now is they're getting into a lot of our everyday lives in America. They've gotten into Hollywood. They've gotten into our schools. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to any of this stuff, but it seems very of a concerted effort to kind of destroy society slowly from the inside out. And they've said it. They've said it over. This is going to go on YouTube. This is going to get censored or something. But I forget who said it, but they say we can destroy the United States without firing one bullet, and we can get into their society by, changing minds and stuff like that. And not to get too political, but that's basically how they think, just so that you guys are aware, because we are trading currencies. And a lot of what we do has to do with what is going on around the world. It's not just like in the little stock market with all these companies with their earnings and stuff like that. We're talking about world news. We're talking about what's going on with different countries, different ideals, right? What different central banks are doing based on that, based on what oil is doing, right? Oil is a big part of currency. Gold is a big part of currencies. So just keeping your eye on it, or like a finger on the pulse of what's going on around the world when it comes to geopolitical tensions and stuff like that, it's in your best interest, whether you like politics or not. Yes, it is, Kat. Yes, it is. So we have, I do not want to be going to war with China or Russia. And it's sad for us to think that, right? For the United States to feel that way, where traditionally we don't. Traditionally, it's like, you're not going to mess with us. And now it feels like it's shifting, where like I have no confidence in what's going on right now, if we're being completely honest. So we just got that bullish close over here. Kat, you want to say something?
Oh, no.
All right, so we got that reaction in this area. Now let's see if does this candle flip bullish in the last 2 minutes over here? And if that's the case, that counter trend line Giovanni and I were talking about over here. That may be interesting. But I would like to see this candle close bearish. Maybe we get a bullish candle close and then the bearish candle to continue right back down. I don't know, because all you have right here is 10 pips. I'd like to see some kind of retracement from this move. Yeah, so Donnie, Canada's getting involved, huh? So another confirmation with this move over here, if you're looking at the lower time frames, is you get this fake out, price comes down, creates this low, but we're still creating like a higher low. We're still respecting market structure over here, right? So we're respecting market structure. We create this higher low over here, and then we continue up, but we respect this resistance, and we get that hard bearish close right over here, right? Now looking at the 15-minute, we're respecting this higher structure. Then you get this candle close over here. Price passes this wick. Okay, we're still respecting the bullish structure, but now we're starting to, now we're starting to get into this area. So that's what I was saying. If you wanted to wait for the 30-minute to pass the low of this wick right over here, you'd be then breaking market structure over here, knowing that we could be continuing right back down, respecting this resistance, getting that volume push at 630, multiple different confluences to bring this thing down. That makes sense? So even if you wanted to wait for price to break that 30-minute, it still would have been, it would have been a valid move, and it would have been the safe move because now you're breaking market structure. And the last time price was in this area, right over here, did something very similar. You got kind of like a similar wick right here. Right? And then you get that push. Cat, send another. There you go, Cat. Keep sending these charts. This is how you're going to get better. Missed opportunity. There you go.
That you'd rather see like sells below that area that I marked off towards the bottom.
Rather see sells right here?
Yeah, that one in the bottom.
Right here?
Yeah, like
absolutely
past that move.
Like I think this move will continue down, and we could break through that support and continue down. This would have been your early entry to take this in, right?
Right, true.
But now that we're down here into this area, you may want to wait for 153 to break, because then you'll get this move right here. And again, you want to wait for those clean moves to the left, those clean areas to trade in right over here. Does it mean does it mean you're not going to get action every single day? Yeah, absolutely. But trading isn't meant to be sexy like that. It's just supposed to be a place to make money. And making money, you don't make it every single day. This isn't an hourly job here. This is, you're out there hunting. And if you don't find it, if you don't find anything, if you have no buck coming across your face, you're not going to get anything, right? And you live to see another day. You don't go out there running around trying to shoot a deer randomly. Me and my analogies, huh?
Lurking,
yeah. It's a funny word. We got to change that word, because that it just sounds bad, doesn't it? It sounds like you're like really searching for a move. What's this attachment?
Hey, I like that stuff.
What's up?
That analogy, I like that.
You're hunting?
Yeah.
Hey man,
I like
hunting,
it too.
fishing.
Are you a hunter or what?
I wish I have like my friend group growing up, none of them were really hunters. I only met hunters when I started going to college. And now, like, we're all kind of separated throughout the state, throughout the tri-state area. So, I mean, I shoot, I'll go shoot clay. I'll shoot, at a range, stuff like that. I love shooting, but I've never had the opportunity to go hunting. I play paintball too.
Oh man, we'll have to get out one day. I grew up in a family of hunters.
Let's go.
It's a huge part of my life.
Yeah, I've always wanted. I mean, I'm hunting every day over here. But,
that's right, man. Patience. It does teach you patience. That's for sure. I've had a lot of lessons hunting deer.
That's awesome. Having that background should be beneficial as a trader.
I hope so. Yeah.
All right. So this is good over here, guys. We had the close below market structure over here. We had a low created, but we are reacting to this support over here, right? So are we going to we have a wick to potentially fill. It's not like this is a super weak body, right? We get this, the bearish close. I would call it a bearish close, not a strong bearish close, not a weak bearish close, but a bearish close with a wick to fill. But we are reacting to, let's say 153, 150. So can we get this bullish candle close in this area? We don't break above this area, then we get a bearish candle strong close over here, 15-minute or 30-minute. You could take this thing down to fill that wick and continue right back down. But yeah, that's all you guys are as traders, just hunters. Looking for food for your family. Damn it. Why did this happen?
I remember when I was focusing a little bit more on like swing trading and concepts of swing trading, a lot of like mentors that I used to learn from would always say that the majority of your moves, you'd probably get them like Monday through Wednesday, no more than that. And I guess moving towards scalping, I've kind of forgotten that like you don't need to trade every day. It's still the same thing.
Yeah.
I guess you like psychologically you just think that okay, because you get smaller moves but you can get bigger profits that way, that you might be able to like snipe it every day.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily true. But yeah, so
traditionally, I mean, you don't want what's it called? You don't want to be holding trades over the weekend, like with a swing, right? So that's why they're saying you're going to get majority of those swing trades and the starts of those swings from Monday to Wednesday, right? Because then you get the high volume day. Plus, the main thing is, as a swinger, it's the beginning of the week, right? Beginning of the week, now we could start looking for swings. Like last week, remember last week on Friday, we had that opportunity, I think on GJ or Gold. I think it was on Gold, where I was like, we're bouncing off 1830 now. We could possibly take this thing back up to retest the high, which it ended up doing. But it was Friday. We're not going to take a swing trade over the weekend like that. It's not my trading plan, not my style. It's not something I do.
Right.
So as long as you guys can stick to your plan, right? That's the only difference between you and somebody that's, making a lot of money every single month. $50,000, $60,000 a month, because they can trust themselves to stick to their plan. They know they have an edge. I'll keep drilling that into your head, but that's all it is. It's not taking random trades. Ooh, we could get this. Ooh, we could get that. Like, we're planning trades out and we're making sure we have that secondary bias in case ours doesn't work out, right? But, it's all sticking to a plan and knowing that you're sticking to certain setups that you're looking for.
Yeah. For
and
me,
not just like, this could happen.
Right. Yeah. For me, it sometimes gets a little confusing to know like when it should be a no trade day, like, or a no trade pair, unless it's blatantly obvious, kind of like Gold right now. I'm like, I'm not touching that. Like, it's very clear, but then there's some moments that it's like somewhere in the middle and you're like,
That feeling will make you very proud of yourself when you can look at a chart and it, sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it only takes 6 months as a trader to really get a hold of that and to understand. And those people that only take 6 months, those people really put a lot of work into the back testing. Wait, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna use the bathroom. Yo, hey Donnie, you there? Donnie? So now, how is this 30-minute going to close? 4 minutes. How will this candle close? That closes bullish. We'll be sitting in a range here. There, we're sitting in a range. You know what? Let's go over to the group Trello. Take a look at a few trades of yours while we wait. All right, Kat. Putting it in the spot a little bit. I love the detail over here. How'd you get these things bolded?
You highlight and then you control bold, or like you put 2 little asterisks on each side.
Oh, okay. You're figuring this thing out. Nice. All right, so let's take a look at this trade over here. Oh, that's what I wanted to point out. Was this the same trade we took yesterday? Yeah.
This was yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. This is this setup right over here. What I wanted to point out was that, is it a good setup? In a way, yeah, because we have this. Can I zoom in there? There we go. We have this rejection wick over here, but it did close bullish, right? Or actually, no, that closed bearish. I'm confused by your colors. Then we get the bullish close, right? This candle passed the low of that candle, but it closed bullish. Then we got the bearish close over here. This candle created its top wick, starting to reject this area right here and flip bearish. The only thing is, we don't have that much room right here, and we should have known that, right? To even down to this area right here, right? It's not that, it's only like, I don't know, 10 pips, 12 pips right there. So that's something that you really got to look out for when it comes to taking this trade over here. Could we have just dropped? Absolutely. Right. But when it comes to the small range, like if you guys go back to my journal over here, it's the same exact trade, right? Right from here up. From here to here is not that many pips, maybe 10, right? So we should have probably, if this move didn't work out, like the one I believe Donnie and I took in the morning, right? As this candle created its top wick and then passed below that candle after the rejection, we could have just dropped right over here. But if that didn't work out, we're holding a support right over here. Obviously, we end up getting this bullish candle close above that area. So right away, you need to close below this area. But if you don't get that close, or if you do get the close below that area, right down to the low is only barely 10 pips. Plus, with the spread and everything, that's going to be like 6 or 7 pips. So it's best to wait for us to break this level over here before we take price down. So that was our mistake yesterday. And that's why you journal, because you wouldn't have seen that in the moment. Or maybe you would have, and you wouldn't have taken the trade. Now you would have. Now that you're pointing that out, you see it 3, 4, 5 times, you're going to start waiting and being more patient. But journaling helps you realize that stuff, like really looking at the stuff and then writing it down, being specific. Where was it? After I failed to, I wrote it on the other one. Right here. See, main point. From entry to the retest of the low, we only had 13 pips to work with. Could price have continued through? Absolutely. But if anything, lower risk on these setups. So you got to lower your risk on that. Since we are in a very bearish trend, it could have very well continued through. And that's why you take the trade. But you lower your risk on it, if anything. Know that we could possibly have a hard time breaking the range as it did here. It broke it, but was delayed a little bit. So that's where the journaling comes in, guys. Morning, Tiff. Hard rejection.
Hey, good morning, Steph. Hey, everybody.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Cool. Doing great.
Good.
Doing great. We're looking at GJ over here. Looks like we're stuck in this range, right? 153 is a strong support over here, right? We've had recent activity pushing from the area, right? Last time we were tapping into 153, we just skyrocketed it up. So what could we be doing over here? It looks like we got a little bit of a fake out of this area. I'm just going to get rid of these horizontal lines just to make it less confusing. But we had this resistance right over here, right? After this bearish candle close to continue down, failed to retest the low over here. And then we started breaking up, closed above that resistance. This candle created a top wick, closed right back inside of it, or it's going to, possibly. That's the 4 hour. We have about an hour and a half for that to happen. So what's going to end up happening? Was this a fake out to continue right through 153? Is this area right here worth trading in? Because looking at the 4 hour, looks like we never broke the low of the previous 4 hour over here. So we're reacting to that 153, 150 area or 130 area. Yeah, now you're just in that range.
I have a quick question. if we look at the 15-minute, for instance, sure, we did have like, okay, I'm going to annotate just a little.
Sure.
Sorry, can you zoom out just a teeny bit?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so clearly here we were kind of mirroring this move. And while we have clean candles here, is it kind of difficult to say, sure, we can go back up and like fill this range? Or would you kind of look at all of this situation and see it as less likely to happen simply because this move already happened once, this move already happened twice, and then maybe we're kind of just expecting, I don't know, price to collect orders in some interesting way and see it as less likely to happen, and maybe again continue seeing either maybe price to move here and then maybe down here as a better possibility, or price to do some weird rangy thing around here and then maybe either do something like that or above this price over here. Essentially, would you see this as a threat to a move up? Sorry about my chicken scratch.
No, but what I would ask you though is what's the highest probability of where price is going to go based on price action right now? Like, is there a higher percentage chance of price going one way than the other? Like just by looking at these candles, not the overall direction, but just looking at this range right over here. Is there like a clear direction of where price is going to go?
Well, I guess this makes me want to think that maybe it's going to go up, but then the fact that it's rejected this level several times and having the notion that we are on a bearish trend, I want to believe that it's going to do something like this. Most likely, but also maybe we're overextended.
Would you say we're sitting around like 50-50 right now for price to either break up this way or close bearish and continue this way?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So this candle's flipping bullish right over here, reacting to this area. So we'll see what ends up happening. Are we going to get a full correction of the bearish move that we just got? Or are we going to get some kind of resistance to form to continue down? Either way, this is all 50-50. So this is where if you are going to take a trade, you lower your risk a little bit. Right. We do have some good volume at this time. We are kind of creating a higher low over here. Could this be a move that you take? Is anybody looking at taking a buy right now? Or is everyone going to be? Sort of? Okay. So we already created a bottom wick on the 30,
I buys here, man, because it's respecting that 200 level.
Would you say, Giovanni?
That I got into buys here on the 15 minute.
You did get into buys?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So your stop loss, I'm guessing, below this 15 or the 30?
The 30.
Okay.
The 15, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, so personally, I'm staying out of this. I gained like almost 4% last night. So I'm just going to be sitting here just because like we're ranging now. And I think that this was our move. This is the one I wanted to take up here. But again, we were just coming into the stream. So we'll see. I'm really looking for a price to break out of this area over here. Break out of the upwards area. I would only really look to take buys once we break 800 up here, or even up into this area over here, because then we could be coming back up into this trend line over here. Why is that like that? Let's adjust this a little bit. Yeah, so if you're taking buys right now, you're going against the 4 hour right after like a fake out over here. So this could just be the 4 hour retracement to then continue right back down. But again, like this counter trend line that we were pointing at in the morning, like could we be forming higher lows over here to continue up? That's the thing. Like that's where you're looking at the 4 hour. You know, we're very bearish over here, right, with this wick to potentially fill. You get the 1 hour now creating higher lows over here. So now you're just sitting in this range, right? Now you kind of want to wait for price to break out. This would have been a move to take in this range to continue right back down, but now we're respecting this area. So these would be like short-lived buys for me, where I'm looking to take my 10 pips. I'm either, closing 90%, stop loss at break even. Maybe we continue up through here, or, I'm closing the full thing at 10 pips, correcting part of this move, maybe 50% of this move. But yeah, I'm not too antsy to take anything right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel the same.
Made up for those 2 losses yesterday morning with the moves last night. That's why like that's the exact reason why it's so important to stick to 1 or 2 trades a session. Because if you start going to 3 or 4 after 2 losses, right, and you're trying to make that up, all of a sudden you're digging yourself a deeper hole, so that now it's like a lot harder for you to come back and make those losses back. It's easy to make 2 losses back, especially if you have the discipline to manage risk. That's the game. That a lot of people don't look that deep. A lot of people don't look that far. They only look short term. You got to look long term. You got to look long term for your career, but you also have to look long term for your week, right? Your week is a whole week. Your trading week is made up of trades throughout that whole week, not just that one day. That one day is not that important. You can't let your confidence get beaten down just after taking 2 losses on a Monday. Right, you got to be able to come back and be resilient after that, and be disciplined with the decisions that you make.
Ebro, as you're talking, all kinds of old emotions are coming up right now, because I went through all that, man, over trading, and just it was blow up days were like my plague. I'd have a great month, and then like literally in one day just blow it all up emotionally trading.
Yeah. And I love hearing that from you. Where's Chris? Chris is in here. Chris had like a fantastic story on our podcast when he came on, because when people hear it from just, people that are in groups, people really trying to figure it out, that are now like figuring it out, they're turning the corner, they relate with that a lot more, right? It feels more realistic, like, oh wow, like, everyday people like are doing this, and it makes sense. Like, Chris was able to buy his engagement ring with his Forex profits just by becoming more and more disciplined, back testing every single day at during lunch at school, right? It all pays off. But like these little things that you go through when it comes to the mishaps and discipline, realizing how important the discipline is, and now turning the corner, right? Other people hearing that, I'm sure you guys are all getting a lot of that from Donnie, and it helps. But Donnie, I was going to ask you before, because when I went to the bathroom, I was thinking a little bit more about that analogy. When you're hunting, are you only hunting a certain animal?
No, I've hunted pretty much whatever I can. To be honest with
Just
you,
whatever comes across your path.
What's that?
Whatever comes across your path.
Yeah, well, it's targeted. Like we'll have we've gone down to Colorado 2017 and 2018 for an elk hunt. Also, we had a bear tag down there, so we hunted bear as well.
Okay.
Up here in Nova Scotia, mostly white-tailed deer, but like sometimes we'll get the shotguns out and just do some bird hunting. And we eat everything that we kill. We're not so much trophy hunters as we are putting meat in the freezer. And
Yeah.
I personally love man, I eat a lot of wild game. It's the best meat you can get, man. It's very, very healthy. So yeah, man, whatever we can hunt, we'll hunt and share it within the family.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
because I was gonna try and tie that into trading, where like, all right, when you go out hunting, you're only looking for elk, and it's like you're looking for a specific animal when you're hunting. Same thing with trading, you're looking for a specific setup. But I guess that didn't work out too well, so I played against me.
Well, it can work. I mean, like we go out if we're going out for an elk hunt and then we got our elk tags, we don't really care about any of the mule deer that are hanging around or anything like that. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Well,
It
is it
is
illegal
a.
to shoot them?
I mean, you got to have a tag. So for me, I drew a tag in Colorado. I put in for a draw every year, and 2 years in a row I drew an elk tag. And my cousin drew a bear tag, and one of the other guys drew a deer tag. So we'd all go out, and we only hunt what we have a tag for. But yeah, man, it's targeted though. It's very much like you could use it as an analogy. It is like GJ. Like I got my GJ tag, and I'm going out in the morning looking for that setup. But it takes a lot of sitting around and waiting. Like in a tree stand, especially white-tailed deer hunting, man, you'll sit in a tree for days and days and days and not have a single animal come in, and then bang, like a big trophy buck will come in on like day 12 or something like that, right? Like, but it's more waiting and sitting around being perfectly quiet than it is anything else.
So patience in trading is like nothing compared to hunting.
Maybe more like waiting for that big swing trade.
Sure. There you go. Makes sense. Sometimes you don't always get it.
That's right. Listen, I got to take off, guys. I'm gonna go treat the wife to some breakfast here. It's her birthday today, so I'm gonna sign out here earlier. I got my trade this morning on London session.
Yeah.
So I'm up 1.5%, so I'm happy with that.
There you go, buddy. Did you make up your loss from yesterday?
I did, man. I did.
So
it was like 1.3% I was down yesterday, and I was up 1.5 today. So
beautiful.
Back in the positive for the week, and I'll be here tomorrow morning.
Love it.
All
awesome,
right, guys.
man.
Have a good
Wish her a happy birthday for me, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Appreciate that, brother. Cheers.
Of course, you too. All right, 15-minute, just made a nice little push over here, but no top wick. All right, so are we correcting, if you guys like using fibs, are we getting that like 50% correction over here to continue right back down? But again, we're consolidating right over here, and fibs don't really work out too well in a consolidation market. What's up, Gio?
Hey, brother, how's it going?
Good. How about yourself?
Doing all good.
You take anything this week?
Well, yeah, yesterday I was in GJ cell yesterday.
Were you on with us?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I was in a different call, but yeah, I was trading while I was in that. But yeah, I took I think it was the 8:30 or no, it was the 8 a.m. candle.
Yeah, we took the same thing.
Yeah, but then I closed the whole thing once that 30-minute, which is also the 4-hour close, with no bottom wick, and the next candle passed the low of that candle on the first 2 minutes.
On the 30-minute, you said?
Let me see if I can.
Right over here?
Yeah, that candle right there.
This one?
So yeah, so this candle right here, I took that one.
Okay.
So yeah, I have, once it passed the low of this, I have my stop loss right here.
Okay.
And then so this same candle is the close of the 4-hour, right? So the 4-hour.
This is the close of the 4-hour right here.
The bearish candle. So
Yep.
the 4-hour closed with no bottom wick, and then the next candle, I was still expecting it to go down.
Yep.
But not on the first 2 minutes but it did. So right over here, I closed the full thing.
Okay, I like it. Now, what made you place that stop loss there? Like, what was your whole thing with that?
Well, if you look at it here, here's the previous support, right?
Yep.
So if it goes back in this range, then it invalidates my analysis. So
there you go. It's money. Nice little correction to this move. Yeah, we were just talking about Ukraine.
Oh, I don't know, man. Yeah,
I like it
Kremlin
too.
just sent 100,000 troops on the border. So
Oh my god. Oh man. Now, what do you think is gonna happen with China?
well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't really know. Like if Putin and she is actually I don't think they get along well. I, I
You
don't
know,
think
well, I
there's
mean,
ever.
there's a power struggle there.
Yeah,
Now they both want to take over the world.
right. So I think both of them actually. Um, I don't think they get along. Like everybody thinks that
Hmm.
they're a team.
I mean, if they're both going to do what they want to do, which is destroy us, they're going to have to team up. Like they're
But
both
yeah,
going
I
to have to
was
attack Taiwan and Ukraine at the same time.
right.
So they'll have, even if they don't get along, they'll have to coordinate that one. I mean, they don't have to. It'd just be in their best interest. I think they know that.
I was listening to somebody yesterday. Who was in an interview or it was a podcast? They were talking about that thing, that Ukraine thing,
Yep.
and yeah, they're saying that it. I don't think um they really want to invade Ukraine. Um, like it would be a disadvantage for them to do it. Like I mean, right now,
Uh-huh.
especially during this season. Um, they're saying that Russian military they're not like properly equipped for winter.
The
Like
Russian military isn't?
Russian, yeah, they're talking about their their equipment and stuff. I don't know if it's true, but yeah, there was one guy that was saying that if they really want to do it, I don't think they'll do it during winter season.
Huh. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm trying to see how much. I think this is a good map of it. So they had all of this. Now this is Hungary, Czech, Romania, Bulgaria. Here's Ukraine. Okay. So they had all this territory over here until what, the 80s? Oh no, this is World War II map. I'm trying to see what territory they had after the 80s when the Soviet Union basically collapsed. Until 1960. Hmm. Okay.
This part right here is also one of the reason why the market was falling yesterday.
Oh yeah. Well, I really think the main reason, like obviously you got fear in the market with that. But the main reason is everyone or banks, investors, and all of them are really not fearful, but they're preparing for rate hikes, which is gonna probably happen in March, and they're gonna be talking about that tomorrow. And that's what everyone's gearing up for. I think that's the true main mover.
But yeah, rate hikes in history actually did pretty like the market did pretty well.
Over time. Yeah, you're right.
Over time, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, S&P, I think has a 63% average return.
But I think that was a time during expansion. Like we're in stagflation right now, where we have no growth. So I think this is a different. I mean, you could always say that, but I think this is a different environment right now for a rate hike. We're in a very sticky spot because I mean the Fed is what's propping the market up. So now once they pull the rug out, what's going to happen? Like you said, historically, I have seen that too. The market tends to continue going, but we'll see. Got about 10 pips here, Giovanni. All right, here. Wow. You guys read this? Ukraine's SBU security service said on Tuesday it dismantled a Russian criminal group that was planning to carry out a series of armed attacks on the country's territory. The SBU claimed the group is coordinated by the Russian Special Service and that its goal was to work on destabilizing Ukraine's border regions. The claims come from, amid Russian military buildup around the border. Wow. What a mess. Has anybody read about what's going on with Boris Johnson?
No, the latest news I heard about him was just about the mask mandate.
Yeah, he took out the mask mandate, but he's under a lot of attack right now. Let's see if they're mentioning anything on Forex Live. Hey, Tiff, have you taken anything yet this week? I saw footage of U.S. military and ISIS fighting late last night.
How much troops we have left in there?
Can't be that many, right? Do we have troops still in Iraq?
I don't know. But imagine the 100,000 troops at the border. The Iraqi war that we had, I think we had what 82,000 troops that we sent over there. And imagine right now, Russia is sending 100,000 troops.
Wait, we sent 80,000 what over to Ukraine?
No. The one in Iraq.
Okay. Yeah, so Russia has 100K. I think are we mobilizing like 80,000 as well?
No, what I heard was Biden was sending about 5,000.
Or 8,000, 8,500, something like that. Did you see Biden called Peter Doocy a stupid son of a bitch yesterday?
Oh, he did?
You didn't see that?
That was hilarious.
He's like, stupid son of a bitch, like under his breath. Of all people. We're sitting inside of a range today. Hey, Giovanni, you with us? No.
The move that happened earlier, can we say that was purely technical, considering we don't really have much going on as far as news?
Yeah, it was basically buyers coming out of the market, right? Because when you have these bearish moves, right? You have major bearish movement. Let's say just from this high up here, right? So we're just creating lower lows and lower highs. Each of these dips are buyers trying to buy the dip, right? And then that, obviously doesn't work out. It's also sellers coming out of the market, and then all of a sudden the rug falls out and we just continue falling, right? So right now, what we did was, people are reacting to 153. You got buyers coming in at 153 because we have previous price action, pushing price up from 153 over here. So obviously it's a strong demand zone. People are trying to buy up the pound yen from down at this level, right? That's why we're kind of creating these higher lows over here. But at the same time, we're respecting previous highs, right? So now that we come into like a key area over here and respect this bearish trend, you get this fake out, price comes down, we retest the previous actual resistance here, and then we continue right back down. You get that volume push, and that's all of them coming together, sellers coming into the market as well and pushing price down, right? So nothing actually happened, but what we had was just technical movement, continuing some movement down. But now what we're doing is holding a support. We got buyers coming in now, and now it's just a range, right? We're just putting sideways over here.
Right. So if any other moves present themselves today, they will continue to be just purely technical.
Did you say purely technical?
Yeah. Yeah. Until like maybe tomorrow when FOMC comes out at 2 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unless we get some, let's see if like, so this Brexit minister is talking about how we can have some compromise because Brexit is starting to come to the back up again as well. A compromise can be reached to safeguard Northern Ireland's stability. That's always been a major conflict when it comes to Brexit, is Northern Ireland and them being kind of isolated from this. UK Brexit Minister Truss. I expect to make progress with EU Commission, I can't even pronounce that name, next week. UK Minister Truss. I am working closely with EU peers to find a solution to the challenging situation. UK, okay, the issue must be resolved as soon as possible. So obviously they're going back and forth, the EU and the UK, when it comes to a lot of terms with Brexit. But if that gets resolved today, you could see a little spike up on GJ. But at the same time, they're not doing that till next week. But it doesn't look like too many things are going to be going on unless you get, let's say, something happens with Russia and Ukraine, people invest into the Japanese yen, and this just tanks. Right? Then we just break below 153 and continue bearish.
Mm-hmm. So you're looking at the news tab and the calendar tab on Forex Factory?
Yeah, so the calendar tab, economic calendar, we don't have too much. Right, when it comes to the Japanese yen. Bank of Japan summary of opinions, that's not too important. Consumer confidence could maybe affect the Japanese yen, but I doubt it. We'll see.
When we're looking at these news things, are we mainly looking for things like related to, I guess, inflation, monetary policy? Yeah. Things that affect the consumer, like that's the main focus, or maybe producers? Anything,
red or orange, I would say are pretty important economic calendar events. Could be GDP, could be inflation numbers, CPI, PCE, which is coming out on Friday. These are all the important things that we're looking at for the week. Like, you should be able to go through the economic calendar and know, like, all right, what's going to really move the market. Right over here, you got, F1 or not FOMC, but Bank of Canada releasing their statement, right? Releasing their rates as well. So we'll see what they end up doing tomorrow. We have us releasing our rates tomorrow. So that's obviously the biggest mover of them all if they do. GDP, right? Gross domestic product, what's actually going to be coming out of this country, selling to, abroad. You got unemployment claims coming out. These are all important. If you trade euro, German consumer climate could be important for you. Spanish unemployment rate, maybe not so much.
Canada news do anything to GJ or
no? I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. If they increase rates, actually, it could possibly, like, if they have a surprise rate hike or something like that, that could possibly move the market. But typically, Canadian stuff doesn't affect us or Japan too much. But, like I said, if they do have a surprise rate hike, it could signal other banks to be doing the same thing. And then you'll see maybe the Bank of England. Why am I yawning so much today?
It's a sleepy day.
Yes, it is. Definitely a sleepy day in the market.
Exactly, that too. Just by looking at tomorrow, like, I'm tempted to just think that because of all that news coming out tomorrow, while we might get a technical move, that it's also very likely that we might not get a move, I guess.
So, as you're saying that, again, we're sitting in a range, and what we had was we have no economic calendar events coming out today, right? And what we had was a strong technical move. This was the move of the morning, right? I wouldn't expect too much after this unless we hold some kind of resistance here and then we continue through. But this was that move of the morning, bringing all the way down here. And now we're sitting in this range, especially after these two 30-minute closes. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big step for a lot of traders too, is realizing that move in the morning and being content knowing that, okay, I was just in this trade, that was the move of the morning, and I'm done for the day, or I'm done for the session. Or I missed that move, and that was the move for the morning. We learn from it. We see how we can get it the next time, and then we go ahead and spend the rest of our day doing whatever it is, journaling that trade that we could have gotten, or, going back and reviewing previous trades that you've gotten, back testing, all that stuff. You could constantly be getting better. And that's what you're doing on days like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to improve on.
What was that?
That's what I'm trying to improve on, because it's like little by little, if you're able to like eliminate certain things or view certain aspects in different ways, then maybe things like me getting into moves that stop me out and then continue in my way, or moves that I miss, like it might be easier to identify those moves by eliminating other things, I guess is what I'm saying.
Not catching on.
Like if I'm able to identify when news is a major factor, or when it's just technical, and like just by being able to know, okay, maybe I should just stop because there might not be anything happening, then if I'm able to identify that, getting better entries essentially.
Sure. So that's where it's important to know the full background of what's going on in the market. You have global inflation, right? You have COVID numbers in China specifically that are spiking up. You got COVID numbers everywhere, but I think a lot of people are realizing that this new variant is more like a cold, and it's people are taking it a little bit less serious. Is it transmitting very quickly? Absolutely, but it's not as serious as like Delta or the first one. And coming from doctors that I've known, and my fiance's cousin is a doctor in a hospital down in South Jersey. She's saying that when a virus comes out like that, like it did back in 2020, the first version of it is always the worst, right? And then it dilutes as you get into different variants. It kind of gets weaker and weaker as different variants form. So that's obviously good news for us. So maybe Omicron is where everyone gets that herd immunity, and we kind of go back our daily lives again. Not worrying about it too much. But you have COVID, you have global inflation, which is a major factor, right? All these countries are coming out with price indexes now that are way above their threshold and what they want, way above 2%, which is the normal. Now it's above 7%, which is ridiculous. But so you have that. You have Ukraine happening right now. It doesn't affect the UK too much, but people are going to be pouring the money into the Japanese yen. But the main mover of the markets is interest rates, right? Knowing that that's the main fundamental, that's something that you have to keep in the back of your mind, because that's what bankers are thinking. That's why you see a lot of these currencies coming down right now, and you see gold going up, because that people are going to be, or banks are going to be lowering their interest or raising their interest rate, and they're going to be lowering the bond buying and the tapering and stuff like that. So that I think is the main mover. The second one I would say is the geopolitical tensions right now with Ukraine. Right. So knowing those things in the background now you look at the economic calendar. So you have everything going on. Now the economic calendar. Now there's nothing going on for GJ or for the pound or Japanese yen. So now like it may be a quiet day. Plus tomorrow's FOMC. So you're going to have a lot of ranging markets today until tomorrow.
Is tomorrow the biggest news regarding interest rates?
Yes. Interest rates, think about interest rates as like, let's say, I would say sales for or earnings for stocks, which is probably the main mover. Main mover for currencies is interest rates, because it's how much are these interest rates worth, or how much are these currencies worth? Right? How much are people making on it or paying for that currency, right? So that's the main mover. I would say GDP is the next. That's how much does this country produce?
Right. And then CPI and PPI.
Yeah, especially when you have high inflation tensions like right now. Like there's certain environments that some are more important than others. Like CPI back in 2018 isn't going to be as important as CPI is today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people are paying more and more attention to these numbers. Banks are paying more attention to the prices right now than they were back in 2018, because we had inflation at like, let's say 1.5. Right? Which is a good place to be when you have production. We had a great economy in 2018. Nothing was going on, no COVID. 2019 too. We were doing really well. We had like record low unemployment in different communities. We were doing pretty well.
Makes sense. And then by looking at teletrader.com today, like what we were talking about the other day, just looking at GJ, the percent change.
Yep. So as you can see, you have, I would say the main equity markets would be right here. And it could be argued that it stops at 4, stops at the UK. But right now, the whole week, where are we at right now? We're down pretty bad.
That was crazy.
S&P is down almost 5.5%. But for us, for GJ, for the week, we're down 2.6%. All right. Today, right now, we're down. Right? Pre-markets are down right now. So what you look at is that move, pre-markets are out, price dropped. But I think this is more of a technical move. Nice little drop over here from this resistance, especially after respecting that resistance.
So by looking at this now, since it's so bearish, any counter trend move, we'd be like, nah, kind of deal.
Yeah, it's like I mean, you could certainly take like riskier buys. Like Giovanni, are you still in this? I don't know if you can hear me. All right, so these are like, you know, high risk, high reward buys. If you get them from down here, let's say we break through resistance and continue up, break through that resistance over here. Those are like high risk, high reward buys. Safer buys are going to be above this area. Even safer buys will be once we start to break this structure over here. So if you look at the higher time frames over here, once we break above that area and once we break above this area, but these are going to be more shorter buys coming back up to this area to then maybe continue right back down. So you could possibly grab something right here. Break through that area. These could be safer buys, consolidate here, and then continue down. And you could certainly grab some of these buys up here, coming right back up to that level. You just want to wait for like more confirmations to take that trade against the trend.
Yeah, for sure.
But the as you can see, the 4-hour right now is rejecting that area again, right? But again, we had this. We had this fake out over here. So price, are we coming back up to retest this area and then continue down in here? To me, this is just one big range right here at this point. So you want to wait for price to break that way or this way. We got in here. We got James. What's up, James?
Morning, everybody. How we doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Morning.
Doing well. Doing well. Good morning.
Good morning. You take anything?
A little bit. No, not this morning. I had a couple swing trades from overnight that the classic went 10, 15 pips in profit, and then overnight I got stopped at break even. I closed them all. I closed half at 10 pips for all of them, and then put stops at break even, and then they got stopped out because, as we know, most everything's ranging. So
yeah.
But yeah, probably should have. The only thing I really should have done differently was close probably 80% instead of just 50. Just because that's part of my trade plan.
100%. Super important. Sticking to that. Yeah, I was pointing out, I grabbed this too, and I got stopped at break even overnight, but I secured down here multiple times, took a little scalp over here, and then took another one down here, anticipating price to continue through overnight with stops at break even. But, you know, this move over here ended up taking me out.
Yeah, same thing. I had a USC CAD and then GU. This literally same idea as GJ,
Okay.
where it started to look like it was going to retest the low and then pulled back one more time for London volume.
Oh, wait a minute,
But-
James, did you text me yesterday? I think I was in the middle of something.
We were talking in the morning. I don't know. I need to go look. Yesterday work was busy too.
Let's see. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty slow day today.
Oh yeah. Got nothing coming out. Unless Putin wants to pull something.
But yeah, pull the trigger literally.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just reading this on Teletrader. Where is it? So Ukraine. So Ukraine claims that there's been thwarting. I don't know how to say that word. Basically, like special forces from Russia has been gathered around the border, and Ukraine security services has been like dismantling them as like a criminal group because they're trying to plan out and carry out a bunch of planned armed attacks, and basically they stop them.
I wonder what the incentive for Russia is to invade Ukraine. I feel like maybe ports towards western part of the world. I don't know. I just wonder what their incentives are. Yeah.
I think it always comes down to control and
Pride.
getting Ukraine back. I mean, they used to have it. They had it for over 50, 60 years up until actually, no, more than that.
I was going to say, I feel like if you look historically, it's probably a pretty long time.
They had it from the early 30s, I think, maybe even before that, up until like 86, 87, when basically we dismantled the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And then because Chernobyl happened in 86 and they were still under the Soviet Union at that point. Remember they were lying about everything?
Mm-hmm.
And that happened in 86. So, probably around 87, 88. Let's look it up. When was Soviet? Oh, so they were formed in 22. '91. That's right. Okay.
Okay. So, I mean, they hadn't been a part of them for a good minute, but I guess Russia just wants them back.
91 was Desert Storm. So we were in the Middle East too. Soviet hammer and sickle flag lowered for the last time over the Kremlin, therefore replaced by the Russian tricolor. Earlier in the day, can't even pronounce that name, resigned his post as president of the Soviet Union, leaving Boris Johnson. Huh. Yeah, that's I'm very into history, especially World War II history. But I never really followed what happened in the 80s between Germany with the wall in Berlin, because they wanted to go communist too. And like Reagan and how Reagan kind of like dismantled that with Gorbachev and stuff like that. I never really learned too much about that in school or really paid too much attention to it or watched anything on it. So I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. Gio, you into Russian history or know anything about what happened with the Soviet Union?
Not really.
No. Yeah, I never really paid too much attention to it. I remember starting to pay attention to it once Chernobyl came out on HBO. I started getting really into it. What was that?
That was a great show. I thoroughly enjoyed that show.
So disturbing.
Yeah, it's slimy people.
I know. Oh yeah. Everything's to protect the state. But I like the way they made it though, because they made it in terms of like the lesson of the show was how lies can basically ruin lives. They can cost lives by lying. And what they did with the show was they didn't want to Hollywoodize it. And they didn't need to either. Like listening to the director talk about it, like they didn't have to make anything too dramatic or anything like that. Like that's what actually happened. That's all the footage and stuff like that. Like I've watched side by side footage on YouTube of the real footage from Chernobyl, like when they were shoveling the stuff off the ceiling, the roof, all the graphite. They did the exact same thing in the show.
Mm,
It's pretty interesting.
that is interesting.
Did you start 1883 yet?
I have not. We've been watching The Americans just with everything that's been going on, and it's pretty good. Like
Talk about
I
Russian
recommend
history.
it. Yeah, I know, right? I recommend it.
I watched
Interesting.
the first episode of it.
It's good, man. It's a little repetitive, but it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed
didn't
it so
grab
far.
me, or maybe, I don't know. When you're in a relationship, as you know, it's hard to watch shows on your own,
Exactly. Exactly.
And plus, like I don't, we us as like entrepreneurs, we don't have time to just sit there and watch Netflix all day or, watch shows. Like I'm not gonna, if I have time on my own, I'm not gonna sit there and watch a show. I'm gonna, get my shit done or anything like that. Like if I'm watching the show, it's with her.
Yeah, I finally downloaded Soft FX, so really, anytime that I'd be playing video games is now
Good shit.
doing that. So
It's the year of sacrifice for you guys. This year, like this is the year you guys turn everything around. A lot of you guys have been already trading a year, right? So I'm not putting the pressure on you like now you gotta step up, but now is like where you put the work in. Like you gotta put the pressure on yourself for putting work in and getting things done every single day. Yeah, you don't want to be looking back at this year and saying, "Oh, that was another year of, just jerking
twiddling
around."
your thumbs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this April 3 years now. So
Years now. There you go. So it's turned you profitable and trading full time with how you doing with funded trader?
good. I was down 3% at the start of or at the end of yesterday, and then those swing trades got me back to just down 0.5%. So
Okay, cool.
most I got up was I think 1.5. I put like 2% on a gold trade yesterday that I just I shouldn't have. So it's okay though. We're chipping away.
100%. Just when it comes to our strategy of price action, just focus on win rate and making sure that like you're correct. You're picking the correct trades. That's all.
Right. Yeah. And still, like, I mean, I took three trades yesterday when really the GJ trade that I first took that I've got basically closed at break even. That probably should have been my day. With everything moving, I got excited. So it just comes back to controlling emotion.
Yeah. 100%. Wait, James. So Tom Brady has more playoff wins against NFC teams than Aaron Rodgers does.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. I saw a quote
That's
yesterday
insane.
from Leonard Fournette. They asked him what Tom Brady's best trash talk was, and he said, I played against your dad. Why don't you go ask your dad how good I am?
That's crazy. What, to Fournette?
Yeah, no, it's just like they asked Fournette, what's Tom Brady's best trash talk?
Yeah.
He goes, well, he usually tells people he played with their dads. Why don't you go ask their dad how good I am?
That's funny. I love watching those football lives from NFL Network because, like, for me, like as a mentor, like I love watching the coach ones, like Lombardi, just like how they get the most out of their players, stuff like that. Something that I've recently gotten really interested in. But I watched the Tony Romo one. That was pretty good. Small town kid. All he did was play sports. Got into the NFL, got his chance with Parcells. He took less money to go to Dallas because he knew he had a chance to start and he wanted to play for Parcells. And Parcells, like, if you ever watch those clips from Hard Knocks, when Parcells was over there, just like calling everyone out, talking to Romo. He's like, "Come on, Romo, you know better." Like the way he would talk to him, it's just funny.
Well, that's how like MJ was on his team. He would call people out.
Oh my God,
he does the same thing. He calls people out.
100%.
All the greats keep everybody accountable, like including
100%.
themselves.
100%. That's what you want. Getting the most out of you. But this it's looking like a dud today, guys. But that's all right. We got plenty of movement after tomorrow, actually. Pretty positive. I apologize also. Yesterday, we were supposed to do a full market breakdown with Sharma, and she just didn't answer me. She was on her way home, and then we were going to do it. So I think we're doing it today. But we'll see. But I'm going to double check with her to see if she's still good to back test, or not back test, but trade tomorrow live with you guys. And if not, we're going to be live ourselves. But with that being said, guys, have a great day. Remember what I said yesterday about keeping yourself accountable and getting the most out of yourself. Also, what you could do, a lot of you guys and a lot of us in today's day and age where everything is instant gratification, we have our phone right in our pockets. We got a full computer there. You could do anything you want, and you got a life full of distractions right now, a lot more than in past lives and past generations. So what you can do is challenge yourself to go on some kind of a dopamine detox, right? Where you choose what you need to do over what you want to do, right? Instead of going on Instagram, you go and read an article. Or instead of watching a random, video on YouTube, you go watch something on trading, right? Or you go watch one of our back testing sessions, something like that. But embrace that. And the more you make those decisions, the more confident you guys are going to get in yourselves, in your decision-making, in everything. So try to do like a dopamine detox, something like that, where you're constantly making the right decisions every single day. So important. I think they're the most, because that dopamine detox can be everything. It can be alcohol. It could be drugs. It could be Instagram, social media, video games, TV, all these distractions taking you away from your goals. If you just get rid of them and go on this dopamine detox, is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. But it's necessary, and it builds confidence more than you'll possibly ever realize.
Yeah, books are good for it too. I've been trying to read a lot more books. So scrolling Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, there's a book that I'm reading right now. I'll send it into the books channel. It's called Deep Work by Cal Newport. Anybody ever hear of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, let me I just started it, so I'm not still in the introduction, but I heard it's a really good book. Let me send it.
I'm reading a book called The Science of Getting Rich, and it was written in 1910, and it's pretty cool. I read the first 3 chapters yesterday, and the guy talks about, and remember this was written in 1910, talks about industries that you should get in, and the first one he talked about was that you should get out of rail, steel rail industries and get into air travel. And if you think about if you'd taken that advice in 1910, where you'd be today, it's just pretty cool to see that he basically called it because, think how many planes are overhead all day.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure a lot more people are on planes than trains.
Yeah, exactly.
But guys, have a great day. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Like I said, I'll keep you updated on if we're gonna be with Sharma or not. And we'll go from there. All right, guys, good discipline today. Giovanni, you there? Keep calling on you.
Yeah, I'm still here.
There you go. Are you still in GJ?
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. You secure it all?
No, not yet. I'm still waiting.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, have a good day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Enjoy the Tuesday, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.